Gopi Kallayil, my cup runneth over. My cup runneth over, Gopi Kallayil.
Life sometimes hits us in the head like a ton of bricks to make us realize our life situations are not our real problems. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, our real problems are those negative stories recurring in our head when our cup, which once runneth over, is now empty. 3 years ago, my life was a Bollywood movie. I was living in a dream house, enjoying professional success, and my personal life was just perfect. Suddenly, things fell apart. I lost my job, my house, and even my dog ran away to the dog pound. Now my life felt like a country western song. Sitting on the edge of my bed in my quiet, dark bedroom, I refused to face reality. The negative stories recurring in my head haunted me. To turn them off, I turned on the TV, and there at 3 a.m. was motivational speaker Tony Robbins imploring me, live with passion. If your cup is half full, change your belief system. If your cup is half empty, change your belief system and say, my cup is half full. I looked at him. Tony, you don't understand. My cup is fully empty. At that time, I felt I was failing. And then suddenly, I heard the voice of reason in my head. My father's saying, Gopi, when your cup is fully empty, you're blessed because you can choose to fill it with your heart's desire. In an instant, my perspective changed. Have you ever felt one of those moments? Suddenly, the negative stories in my life started changing. All of a sudden, even though unemployed, I felt empowered. Wow, I couldn't believe it. I even spelled it backwards to make sure, and still, wow. So as a new CUO, Chief Unemployed Officer, I gave myself a 6-month vacation. And thanks to the generosity, kindness, and hospitality of friends all over the world, I embarked on a journey of discovery. Starting with the cold, desolate glaciers of Iceland, to the hot, glitzy city of Dubai, to the wild expanse of Kenya, and finally, to really make sure my cup runneth over, I climbed the tallest mountain in the world, Kilimanjaro. Standing on Kilimanjaro, I surveyed the plains of Africa. And like any good Toastmaster, I started a motivational speech. Quickly coming back to my senses, I realized that the true journey of discovery I had gone through was not visiting all those exotic places, but the one within. That journey made me realize that our life situations are not the real problems. Our real problems are those negative stories recurring in our head when our cup is empty. Returning back home with new stories and a brand new attitude, I rebuilt my life with a lot of difficulty, but with grace and dignity. I even got myself a new dog, but this time a stuffed one to make sure it would never run away. That life journey taught me several lessons. But in truly daunting circumstances, I think about the life of my friend, Jason Becker. At 18, Jason was one of the finest guitarists in the world. At 19, he was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease that atrophied all of his muscles. Today at 39, Jason is completely paralyzed, needing a respirator to breathe. One of the few muscles he can still move are his eyes. When I first met Jason, the compassionate but negative story in my head was that Jason's life is so tragic. But the story in Jason's head is radically different. The disease mercilessly took away his power of speech, but refusing to surrender, Jason and his father created a sign language using eye movements. And on his website, Jason happily states, "I am the sexiest man alive." This year, Jason released his second musical album of his compositions. On one of the tracks, you will hear this sound. A rhythm loop made up of Jason breathing through his respirator. Defiantly, Jason has used the last sound that he can make to delight us with his musical creativity. And Jason taught me again that our life situations are not our real problems. It's those negative stories recurring in our head. Ladies and gentlemen, the question is not if you will run into one of life's challenges. It's when. Welcome to this very inclusive club where all of us members have problems. Some health, others wealth, and for the most fortunate among us, just relationships. But that is the suchness of life. That is essential humanity at work. So what are you going to do when faced with life's situations? When your cup is empty? As I learned from my father, and from my own life, and from Jason's life, our life situations are not the real problem. It's those negative stories recurring in our head. So when your cup is fully empty, fill it. Fill it with your heart's desire until your cup runneth over. Mr. Toastmaster.